Over to you, President.
Amandla. Amandla. Viva EFF, viva. Ayule EFF, ayule. Tata EFF, tata. Siyabonga. Thank you very much. Our newly elected national chairperson, let me take this opportunity to also congratulate the newly elected officials and the Central Command team. We also want to take this opportunity to congratulate the delegates to the Second National People's Assembly for having produced quality leadership and quality resolutions which are going to change the lives of our people. This journey of renewing our revolutionary mandate and revising our policies is important to ensure that we live forever. I was very happy to see the participation of our delegates, both in the commissions and the plenary. But not only just participating, the quality contributions which you are making in the commissions and also here in the plenary are inspiring and giving us confidence that indeed the future of the EFF looks bright. Comrades, I'm more particularly impressed with the resolutions that allow our fellow African brothers and sisters in the continent and in the diaspora to join the EFF. We are the first organization in South Africa that will practically be implementing the unity of African people. Comrades, this meeting is a very historic meeting because it was conducted in a manner that was never experienced anywhere in South Africa. And every time when they convene their conferences, they will be making reference to the EFF conference. We want to take this opportunity to also thank the former Secretary General, the former National Chairperson, the former Treasurer General, who have not made it back into the leadership, but continue to work for the success of this organization and this conference. That is exemplary leadership that we require moving forward. Positions in the EFF are contested. Ideas in the EFF are contested. And therefore, when we contest each other, we are not enemies. We do so because there are some amongst us who think that Dalimpofu can make a better deputy president than Floyd Shibambu. And it is their right to think so. And no one should take away their right to think so. I also want to thank former members of the Central Command team who have not made it into the new leadership. And I want to reassure everyone here that no one will lose his or her position in Parliament or in the legislature on the basis that they are not elected into the Central Command team. And if there's anyone who got elected into the Central Command team with a hope that he or she will become a member of Parliament, hard luck, because there are no vacancies. Unless you are earmarking the position of Marshal in Parliament, because Marshal is going to that sheikh called EFF head office in Braamfontein. So there's going to be a vacancy there for one person. So if you came into the Central Command team with a hope that you'll go to Parliament, then that is your own baby to feed, because there is no such an opportunity. Comrades, we are coming to an end of this conference, and we are impressed with the discipline showed by you, delegates, and our guests, because sometimes the delegates can behave and you find guests who are unruly, who are involved in the business of the conference and somehow even trying to influence the decisions of such a conference. But we never had any rumor or any complaint that our guests are interfering with the business of our conference. So I'm happy that we had well-behaved guests, including our media, except ENCA. But generally, all media houses who confirmed their participation here, they behaved very well. We never had a situation where there was a complaint that the journalists are forcing their way, are disrespectful of the protocols or the rules of a conference. Continue to report the way you want to report about us. It is your right to call us all types of names. It is your right to write anything you want to write about this NPA. But it is equally our right to disagree with you. And that right must never be taken away from us. We will protect your right to disagree with us, but you too protect our right to disagree with you, because they are all important rights. Fighters, this morning I missed a telephone call from the President of the Republic of South Africa, and I returned his call, and he asked me to send a message to you that he has learned a lot from how you organized your conference, and that he then congratulated me and said, I see you are elected unopposed. It is something I wish for myself, but it's practically impossible with the type of arrangement I have. But I became more excited when the President told me that Kaya Tekeshe will be going home. And I got excited when the President told me that King Dalindyebo will be going home. And I got more excited when the President said he will be releasing them with other prisoners. But those prisoners who are arrested for rape, for domestic violence, for killing women, and all those type of related crimes when it comes to issues of women, they will not be released. So we are sending a very strong message to all those who continue to abuse women, that you don't have a space to coexist with our communities because you belong to prison as animals. And The president, when he speaks about Kayat he says, and this young man that the EFF has been campaigning that he must be released, he will be released. And I thought I must brief you before we announce, because you are the ones who have been championing the release of this young man. So we thank Ramaphosa for an early Christmas, because we've been wanting to coexist and learn from people like Kayat and King Dalindyebo. And we still hope that all of those who have criminal records emanating from fees must fall, those criminal records will be cancelled, and they too will continue to enjoy their freedoms because they were fighting for a just cause. Comrades, when we live here, we must go and protect the state-owned companies, which the same Ramaphosa and Jamnandas want to sell to their friends. So Ramaphosa, I want to tell you now that even if you release Kayat, you are not our friend for what you did to the people of Marikana. You are not our friend because you want to sell the asset of the people. That Eskom belongs to our people. That SAA belongs to our people. That Transnet belongs to our people. Dinel belongs to our people. It does not belong to Rupert and the Oppenheimers. And if you want to sell our assets to the Ruperts and the Oppenheimers, we will defend our assets with everything, including our bodies. We will occupy the picket lines in defense of our properties. We want to say to NUMSA, to SAFTU, to AMKU, to all progressive left forces, let us unite in defense of the property that belongs to our people. Let us confront the enemy agents. They want to steal from our people. And therefore, it is only the unity of the left which can defend the property of our people. Comrades, next year, before the end of January, we shall occupy the premises of Eskom to demand a reliable supply of electricity to our people. We shall also be sending a message to all those who want to sell Eskom to their friends that you will never do that in our name. No one will privatize Eskom. Comrades, we must confront the banks in South Africa and the financial sector in general. They are too powerful. We cannot have any sector of the economy being more powerful than the people of South Africa. We need to send a strong message to ABSA, to FNB, to Nedbank, and a very soft message to Standard Bank. Because Standard Bank is a bit progressive because of the Chinese government as a shareholder in that Standard Bank. But the rest of these Rupert-related banks must be confronted, and they must be told that they cannot do as they wish. When you disagree with Rupert, he closes your bank account. When you disagree with Rupert and mention Rupert's name in the Second National People's Assembly, he withdraws his cameras from ENCA. There is no ENCA in solidarity with Amabungane and Scorpio. The ENCA withdrew from this conference because we spoke about the Rupert, because ENCA is owned by the Ruperts, and you can't criticize them on their platform. They are censoring us. Yet they call themselves the Democrats, the people who protect the best constitution in the world. But when you disagree with them, they close their cameras. But when they criticize us and call us all types of things, we must listen to them. It was ENCA, the channel of Rupert, that said Julius Malema as a title. Julius Malema, the owner of EFF. They gave me a new title. And those are the people that when you relate with, you must treat them nicely. When they use their platforms to howl insults, because you don't have a TV, you can't say anything to them. The least we can do is to protect ourselves from such criminals who reduce the people's organization into an entity of an individual. What an insult to the poor masses of our people who have formed this organization. Today is belonging and owned by Julius Malema. ENCA must know that we will fight them to the grave. In the same way we did with ANN7. We don't need their coverage. We don't exist because of the ENCA, which has got less than 500,000 viewership. My Twitter followers is bigger than ENCA. The EFF got more votes than the viewers of the ENCA. So we don't need the ENCA. SABC, we need you. Relax. ENCA, we don't need. 405, if you are going to continue the way you have been covering here, you will become the best alternative. You are hard, you are attacking, but you do that with humility and with respect. Because we are Africans. It doesn't matter how robust we want to be, there should be limit. Because as African people, we always treat each other with respect. So we must never, JJ can scream at us the way he likes. He's more than welcome. He's an African brother who knows that his screaming requires answers on behalf of our people. We're not scared of any questions. We're never scared of questions. We entertain even the most unsettling questions, we entertain them. Not these arrivalists who claim to have questions. You must ask Deborah Pater. We paralyzed her and finished her career. She thought she was very powerful. So we have no problem with any form of question. We have no problem with any form of media. Just don't declare us an enemy. Because when you declare us an enemy, we shall treat you as an enemy. The banks of South Africa, they are an enemy of our people. The financial sector is an enemy of our people. The mothers in Natal had to carry a dead body to Old Mutual for their policies to pay, because those are the enemies of our people. Who makes people to take the dead body to their offices? Because they don't believe that a person is dead. Why? Because this dead person is a black person. They can never be trusted even when they are dead. The financial sector must be fought. 2020, it's a war against the financial sector and against the banks of South Africa. We need them to know that no one is above the power of the people. Comrades, we can achieve all of this if we have activist public representatives, if we have activist commissars, activist PCTs, activist RCTs, activist BCTs, not armchair politicians, not people who see positions of deployment as a personal achievement. I want to emphasize that because some chance takers are criticizing me for having said that. Don't go to church and thank God for these positions. They are not yours. Thank God for your degree. Thank God for your masters. And thank God for the EFF, not for the EFF position. Once you do that, you are personalizing it. It belongs to you. That is why the day we ask back of our chair, you cry like a little baby. Because in your imagination, it was given to you by Papa. Don't do that. Don't claim EFF positions as an achievement. I don't care who did that. I don't care whether it's a male cadre or a female cadre. I really do not care. Never celebrate an election in the EFF. These ones here, if they live here to throw a party in their homes and their villages and slaughter goats and sheep to thank their ancestors, they must know that their problems started that day. Their problems started that day. What are you celebrating? You defeated Dalimpofu where? Which Dalimpofu did you defeat? There is no Dalimpofu who was defeated here. There is no one who was defeated here. There is no one who won here. The EFF won this conference. There is no individual who must claim victory on positions of the EFF. That's why yesterday there was a party for everyone. It ended yesterday. Ufedile, no more party, no more congratulations for what? There's nothing more to celebrate. There is more to work now. We are going to the ground. We are going to work. I say this, Comrade Dali, because we shouldn't start this organization with wrong tendencies of thanking Bishop, of thanking Papa, of thanking my ancestors slaughtering white chicken. You are personalizing these positions. You are personalizing these positions. And you are going to create problems. That's why when Mandisa Mashiro doesn't make a threshold, you can stand in front of her and say, yeah, like a fanatic. Yeah, pirates escort. There's no difference between a revolutionary and a fanatic in a stadium. When Mandisa doesn't get a threshold, where? And I look at this, I'm like, what is this? Who's this person that you are celebrating that she didn't get a threshold? What are we here? How do we see each other? Because we should see each other as brothers and sisters who have each other's back. Why are you celebrating another comrade who didn't get a threshold? You stand on chairs. You celebrate like a fanatic. Those are the types of people we don't want in the EFF. We don't want fanatics here. We are building an organization based on principles of collective leadership, that the pain of my fighter is my pain, that I will die next to you. If they shoot you in the trenches, they will have to shoot me because I will kill them for having killed you. I shall drag you, your dead body. I will pull it, run with it, because I have to go and account in the village what happened to this comrade. If I can't carry this body, I have to die next to it, because this is my comrade. I'm not going to leave him in the trenches. I'm going to die next to my comrade. We ought to die next to each other. We have to protect each other. We must go to prison together. We must go into exile together. We must fight the enemy together. This is a collective war. It's a war that we must be prepared to fight until the grave. We will never fight it until the grave if we celebrate each other not getting a threshold. The question should be, can I trust this fighter? You ought to ask that question. The one sitting next to me, can I trust this fighter? Or do I have to carry my water with me when I go to a toilet? Because the way you celebrated when I didn't get a threshold, it was like I'm your enemy. Should I trust you? Who are we? What have we become? We have a problem here, and we have to deal with it. So you celebrate like that because you have personalized it. You go to churches about it. You go home about it. You slaughter about it. You go to traditional healers about it. Because you have personalized it. I don't care what you say about me in your Twitter lines. I've not joined a political party of people who personalize politics. We must talk to each other in an open and frank manner. Because when we live here, if we don't condemn certain behavior, it will become part of our culture and our tradition, because we are still at a formative stage. Comrades, we need to unite Africa. These Africans belong to us, we belong to them. There's no South Africa without Africa. Let's go and defend them in the streets. And any fighter who's found wearing a beret and a t-shirt during xenophobic attacks, that fighter has defined himself outside the organization. Because we are for Africans. Comrades, when Africans are attacked, we must give them safe homes. We must say to them, come and stay in here, in my home. If they want to kill you, they will have to kill all of us in this home, because we are not going to allow that, not under our watch. Unity of this continent is very important. Let me tell you, if the unity of Africans was not threatening white capital and imperialist forces, they would have said Julius Malema is the best. But when you speak about the unity of Africa, look at the reaction of the enemy forces. Once you see them criticizing and attacking, you must know you're on the right path. They don't want to see us united. That's why they divided us into Bantustan here in South Africa. Each other as a Venda, as a Shangaan, as a Pedi, as a Zulu, as Xhosa. We don't see each other as beings. That's why we say don't attack Africans, because when you finish with Africans, you are going to go for each other. You are going to use, Africans are going to be beaten. Africans will leave South Africa. We won't have jobs. Then the new theory will start. The Shangans, the vendors, the Zulus. You see, these ones of Zulus must go back to Natal, because there will not be jobs even after Africans are gone. White capital has kept liquid cash in the banks, trillions of rands, and refuses to invest it into the economy of South Africa. There won't be jobs even when Africans are gone. Stop misleading yourself. Africans are here. They've got nowhere to go. They've never stopped you from going to Nigeria. I was saying to the TG now that when these people say to you, you must buy property, you must invest in farms, you must not only look into South Africa. There are good opportunities in Mozambique. There are good opportunities in Angola. And worse, when you want to invest here in South Africa, in the economy that is owned by whites, all types of names are going to be attached to us. Hey, they are corrupt. Hey, they are working with so and so. The best and safe environment for EFF to invest is in the African continent. And we must take you to go and work in Africa. Because you go around loitering and say, we are unemployed, but none of you has ever gone to look for a job in Nigeria. Hey, we are qualified, we've got qualification. What's happening? What's the problem? There are no jobs in South Africa, but there is Africa. Why are you not going to look in Africa? Why do you say South Africa? You don't know that there is a continent called Africa because whites have told us there is only South Africa and the rest are useless. Let me tell you, go to Nigeria. They trade with dollars. They own their banks. You get into a bank, first floor to the last floor, you will never meet a single white person. Yet they are running a successful banks. There are a lot we can learn from each other as Africans. But also, you don't travel. Boginkos, you don't travel. From prison, you just went to DUT. You don't travel. You don't even have a passport for sure. You hear what he says he's poor. Passport, what does it have to do with being poor? Get a passport. Travel the continent and see how beautiful this continent is. And realize so many opportunities that are there in the African continent. So, comrades, let us defend African brothers because they are our sisters. We are one thing and we are not doing them a favor and they don't do us a favor. The body has proposed that we should form a continental body of the EFF which will be seized with organizing EFF in Africa. Let me tell you, the officials had just agreed that that is a very important body which is going to be headed by Godrich Gadi as we continue building the EFF in the African continent. So Godrich Gadi will be leading the body that is going to coordinate on full-time basis this continent of Africa. Comrades, we no longer talk about HIV and AIDS. AIDS continues to kill our people. Yes, I agree that cancer is more fashionable now, but there's very little we can do with cancer, except that our people must go and test from time to time so that there are earlier detections and we can start treating it. But the problem of HIV and AIDS is as a result of people refusing to be responsible. We ought to be responsible. That's why we give you condoms here in this NPA. Because we are concerned that when people meet like this, anything is possible. And you must use condom in case. But some people think the condom will protect them from the bag. As long as it's in the school bag next to the bed, it's enough. They don't use it. Let us use condom. The children must abstain from sex because they are not ready. Those of you who are married and have full-time partners, Floyd Shibambo, be faithful, please. Let's be faithful and stick to one partner. Let us defeat this AIDS because they think it will kill all of us. And when we don't act responsibly, we are making our enemies happy because we will die. But equally, those who are already HIV positive, we must not isolate them. We must embrace them, and those of us who have food to share with, we must share with them. And we must encourage them to take their medication. Because anyone who dies out of AIDS today is an irresponsible person. If you are HIV positive, you will no longer die from HIV, AIDS. The medication is there. Take your medication. Please, we don't want to lose you. We love you. We don't care whether you are HIV positive or not. You are one of us. Continue to take your medication. Our scientists are fighting. Let's hope they will find solution before anything happens to you. The Cubans, Deputy President, they are almost there with finding a solution. That's why Americans don't like Cubans, because they are extremely advanced when it comes to issues of medicine. So we have to be responsible with the hope that one day we'll find solution. Fighters, the issue of women and the killing of women is a personal issue that you have to reconcile with it. We can scream, we can say whatever we want to say. If you are not prepared to change your behavior, then this society is doomed with people like you. Let us find it in our heart not to fight women, beat women, rape women, and kill them. It has even become worse and scary, where a 19-year-old boy rapes a 16-year-old and burns that body. What have we become? Are we really animals as the way we are being described by white people? Are you confirming to white people that we are animals? That we cannot conduct ourselves in a manner that is befitting of a human being? What type of people have we become? What happened to our conscience? You sit there, a body of a person is burning, burned by you. We cannot have such men amongst us. These women have not done anything. There's nothing women can do to stop their abuse, because they are not abusing themselves. We must do something. Women, there's very little they can do. Very little. You can't say, she provoked me. At all material times, it's us who provoke them. I went to a funeral. There was a guy they were burying. And all these people spoke about their relationship with this guy. And this guy was married. And they never mentioned what the wife did for this guy when this guy was sick. This guy, he went to this hospital, and that hospital, I went to check him. Everyone says that, but they don't say, when we checked him, the wife was there. So I left there, I was very angry about this wife. Why is she not anywhere else? Then I went to tell my wife, Ray, there where we went, that wife, they didn't even say anything about her. It's clear that she didn't take care of that man. My wife said, you see, that man who died should have done something extremely bad to that woman. There is no way that woman can just turn against a man, a sick man. So it means when the chief was still in a proper position to do things for himself, he neglected. And then when he collapsed to the bed, those ones who are spending times with a taboo must come and bath you now. I agree you are leaving me here, thinking when I was Yabana. Now when you are weak, I must come and take responsibility. When you are stronger, you didn't care about us. Then we're all going to jump into conclusion. Yeah, she didn't care. When the man was sick, she didn't care. Comrades, when we say the issue of abuse of women is actually in our DNA. I went to a funeral of a church. This person was a church goer. Throughout, women and men were saying women must respect their men. Women must respect their men. Don't talk back when the men talk. In a church, and the people were clapping, and I knew that we have a big problem. It was in KZN. They were saying it in Zulu Marshall. Ungathethisi indoda. Yeah? Yeah, ungakhulumisa indoda. Hey man. Kerembuyiseni, are you listening? It's scary here, Chief. Why are we not confronting any culture, religious practices that discriminate against women? If we are genuine. Why are we not having a huge march in the Eastern Cape against Ukuthwala practice, which is still there, where young kids are being abducted in the name of culture? We protect our culture, we support our culture, but any cultural practices that violate the rights of any human being must never be protected by revolutionaries. We shouldn't allow that. Let young girls grow up and choose men of their own choice. If they want to choose women, let them choose women. It is their own right. They must decide who they want to marry to, not some big belly person. What if these kids want six-pack? You deny them that opportunity. So let us take the battles everywhere where this nonsensical practice of discriminating against women are still there. Let the church too come to the party by embracing women as equal, so that the young children grow up knowing that there is no place for women, there is no place for men, there is a place for humanity. We are all human beings. That's where it starts. So, comrades, let us in the EFF punish those who want to undermine the women of the EFF. We are happy that this second NPA gave us more than what the Constitution said on women, because we are not just talking in the EFF, we practice what we are talking about. So we are led by the women from the top 6 until the last additional member in the top 6. Let us go back and defend women and be led by women as long as we know our place. If you suffer from low self-esteem and you don't know your place, you'll be threatened by women. But if you know your place and you are confident, you don't care who leads. All you want is ideas. That is the type of society we need to produce. Comrades, January, we must make sure that every child who deserves to go to school goes to school. There is no single branch which must just relax and not go and help kids when we go back to school in January. From early childhood development to tertiary level, February when it comes, the EFF Student Command, you must kick the doors that are closed. Open them by force. Allow our children to walk into those universities. They must be registered, whether they've got money or they don't have money. What must earn you a seat in the university? It must be your marks. Lebereke. Kanogara unyokwa university moka 30%. The marks must earn you a seat in the university. Your marks must earn you a seat in the TVET college. No child, a deserving child, must be returned back because this child does not have money, even when the results are saying this child qualifies to be in this TVET college, qualifies to be in this university. We must not be told that there is no enough space. That is not our problem. It is the problem of universities, it's the problem of government. They said we must go to school. We have responded to their call. Now they can't make it our problem. We are hungry for education. A decolonized education that is taught to us by people who look like us, not some people who look differently. We want to see ourselves in the curriculum. When we speak about mathematics, when we speak about medicine, in medicine, we must find ourselves there. The traditional herbs must be taught in the university. We must not be told this is backwardness. Everything that looks African, let it be taught in the university. We are not saying exclude Europe, we are internationalists, but we cannot be bombarded with Europe as if we don't have our own medicine here in Africa. Let education look like us. We want to see ourselves reflected in philosophy. Let African philosophers be celebrated. Must not be told that philosophy is a European thing. It has got nothing to do with us. Comrades, I want us to build a school, not a political education school. We must build a school that is owned by the EFF, a private school. And it must be judged with the same standards as Crawford and that one that Vuyani went to. Curo, Vuyani, St. Davis, all of that. We are going to build a school in these next 5 years. We are going to build a school and we are going to hire highly qualified teachers. And the children are going to go into that school for free of charge. And they are going to be children of poor people. Their mothers, they should be children of those who don't have parents as priority, or their parents are dying of HIV and AIDS and related diseases. We must go and take the poorest of the poor. Our leaders I don't understand why Patrice Motsepe does not have a school. I don't understand why Robert Gumede does not have a school. I don't understand why Sisa Ngebulan does not have a school. But they have all nice things that are so expensive, showing and giving us evidence that these people can build a successful school. Why is Ramaphosa not having Shanduga High School, paid with the money of Shanduga? So we want to lead this. Let us build a school that is going to be attended by children of the poor families, the poor of the poorest, from all over South Africa. In the next 5 years, when we come back here, if we have not built that school, don't elect any of us in front here. We are useless. It means we don't know what we want. We are calling upon our brothers and sisters in Africa, in South Africa, to support this initiative of building Winnie Mandela School here in South Africa, preferably in Alexander, where the poorest are found. We don't occupy any land to cause our school trouble. We go and purchase it properly and build a proper school with every facility you can think of, and send the children of the poor into that school. We don't want any white approval. We will go to Zimbabwe and go and take our teachers there in Zimbabwe to come and teach here. If these whites don't want to teach our children, we'll come to South Africa and take our teachers, highly qualified. Why should Oprah Winfrey come here and build a school here as if we are a charitable case? We are not a charity. We can do it ourselves. We appreciate our sister building a school. We like her for that. She has showed us the way. You have a conference here of how many days? 4 days. You spend 32 million. Can you imagine what we can do with 32 million? Which we raised for this conference of yours in less than 8 months. It means we've got the capacity to raise more. So let's go. I want to see the children of the poor flourishing. Why? Because I come from there. I'm a child of a domestic worker. My mother suffered epilepsy. She couldn't do anything for me. People identified me, gave me an opportunity, and they said, there's a potential in this young man. I don't have anything. I have nothing to offer. I can't build a school. But with this leadership and you, we can realize a dream of changing a life of the hopeless masses of our people. We stayed in a shack. We slept without food. When she came out of a bus, my mother had a scar here. She burned when she was working for whites in the domestic there in town there. When she comes out of a bus, I used to run to her because I had hoped she came back with some leftovers. And the white man wants to tell me how to live my life and tell me that I don't know what poverty does to people. I know what poverty does to people. That's why we must help our people. And we don't care how many people we must help, whether it's 1, whether it's 2. I know it's possible we can change their lives. My life changed because someone else said we can change the life of this young man. I went to my township there. I said to my principal, I want 3 kids who come from the shacks, and I don't want them to come from proper shacks, you know, the shacks with a proper mazenge. I want the ones that the rain, when it rains, it goes through. I want them to be pilots. And then we searched for them. The EFF Legacy Project showed you here. We took them to become pilots from shacks. And I said to them, I don't want you to join the EFF or vote for the EFF. If you do that, you can do that on your own. But I want you, when you become pilots, to finance other pilots who come from the same background that you come from. So I don't understand why Vodacom can't build a school. I mean, they are monopolizing the network and the data, Comrade Kiro. I don't understand why MTN can't build a school strictly for the most poor people, for the people that are hopeless. And they were told by their teachers, you are nothing else. You are going to end here. Like those who came before you in your family, you are not going anywhere. This is your end. Those are the people we must go and identify and help them. I tell you my history not because I want you to pity me. I don't want any favor from anyone. I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. This story I'm telling you is not my story alone. It is our story, all of us in this hall. It's a story of a black child. We've all gone through that. So it shouldn't be easy to align with people who want to destroy a black child if you know where black children come from. Fighters who are going to local government elections. I've outlined what type of leadership we want. In the guidelines that we are going to produce, we are not going to have PR list. We are only going to have ward candidate. Because in the previous local government elections, we had a problem of hard-working ward candidates losing their wards and lazy ones on PR list going inside the council on the votes of those who were ward candidates. So we're going to register only ward candidates. And if we win the wards, the ones who won the wards go inside. And the ones that are going to follow are the ones who got the highest vote. Those will be our PR in the councils to deal decisively with opportunism of laziness. So, if you want to go back to being a councillor, start tomorrow visiting communities. Start working hard. So that 2021, they don't ask you, who are you? So we don't want people who survive out of the sweat of other people. We must all work hard and work for the EFF to be government in 2021. We want to take Johannesburg, we want to take Tshwane, we want to take PE, because all these coalition governments, they are telling you that the people are tired of the ANC. eThekwini, stop sleeping. The votes you gave us in eThekwini there, those people of eThekwini are saying, we are ready for the EFF. And if you are going to play, we want to get that municipality. The ANC is in a serious crisis in that region. With that mama who's fired now, the situation is worse. Take advantage of that situation and zoom in there and take power. Ekurhuleni, the ANC took the votes from us in 2019, and we even lost the wards we have won in 2016. It means you are sleeping there in Ekurhuleni. If you know what is good for you, from tomorrow, you will do the right thing to go and regain the votes of the EFF in Ekurhuleni. Otherwise, that Muzwandile is going to win in 2021. And we don't want that. He will win because of the laziness of the people of Ekurhuleni. Someone must still explain to me why Limpopo province performs the way it does, because the people of Limpopo are looking for the EFF. But Limpopo is not giving us what we want. There's a problem there, Deputy President. We may have to zoom in there and go and do a situation where we look for the best of the best. And we ask the fellows who are leading there in Limpopo to come and join us there in Parliament. We'll give them committees there. And allow that province to be led by people who are going to give us what that province is supposed to give us. You are not giving us anything. You are not giving us anything. It was not going to be Limpopo that increases votes with one seat. You must be ashamed of yourself. You must be extremely ashamed of yourself. You were beaten and defeated by KwaZulu-Natal and Eastern Cape. The Eastern Cape, if it got the necessary support and the availability of leadership, Eastern Cape was going to give us more than what they gave us. Even with lack of support from leadership, they still did well. But what I like about the increase about Natal and Eastern Cape is the fact that you did away with a myth that seeks to suggest that EFF is a tribalistic organization of Limpopo. You showed them that EFF is the whole South Africa. So Limpopo, you must sort out your mess. We want more votes. Northwest, there's no opposition in Northwest. Northwest is defeated by Holy Spirit. There is no ANC in Northwest. Let me tell you, they know. Papiki, is the ANC in Northwest? Huh? The ANC is not there. You are defeated by Holy Spirit. I don't understand what is defeating you, because there is no ANC in Northwest. Absolutely no. All ANC councillors in Northwest are voting with the EFF. And EFF still loses votes. So, Northwest, Free State, Mpumalanga, Gauteng, these are the provinces that should be making us shine. We shouldn't be too hard, Shemon Mpumalanga. We thank you for being an official opposition there. And we thank Limpopo for retaining your status of opposition, official opposition, and Northwest. But we need more. We need more. I'm talking to you now as your president, openly, so that when you leave here, you understand what we want. But you must look at what the fools are going to write about what I said to you. There's nothing I can do, because I won't have any other platform to talk to you without these people being present. Because when I chase them out, they say he's a dictator, he doesn't want the media. So I unfortunately have to speak to you in front of them. And there's no Limpopo which is going to be disbanded, because these ones, when you talk about hard work and pushing people, finished, they are gone. There's no Limpopo that is going to be disbanded. You are going back home there to go and work very hard. We want you to double the efforts and work very hard. The same thing with Free State. The same thing with Northern Cape. We want you to work very hard. You are not giving us what we want. Mondays are there in Free State and Northern Cape. The Western Cape did very well, particularly the metro. We can do better than we did in the Western Cape. There's a huge potential in the Western Cape. The comrades must stop being playful and stop your unnecessary squabbling and focus on changing the lives of our people in the Western Cape. Our people in the Western Cape are both Africans and colored. You are all black. You have similar struggles. Your coexistence should never threaten each other. The unity of purpose amongst black people in the Western Cape is necessary because the DA only benefits white people. You have to come to those senses and come together and work very hard. The EFF in Western Cape must be in the forefront of fighting gangsterism and the crime which is happening there in the Western Cape. The high levels of murder in the Western Cape is like you are a country in a war. It has to come to an end. And only the vanguard of the working class can zoom in there and fight those battles. No army will help you. No task force will help you. You must prevail and say to black people in the Western Cape, we cannot continue to kill each other. We must stop black people's hate of each other. Because it's black people who are dying in the Western Cape, killed by black people. Stop killing one another. The Western Cape, the madness of drugs, of gangsterism and illegal firearms must come to an end. The EFF must confront without fear the drug lords of Western Cape and say to them, you do not sell these drugs to white kids. You are destroying our families in black communities. Yet you are black. You must conscientize them and make them understand that they are destroying a black nation. We have issues to deal with in communities, yet we don't take the opportunity and lead from the front. Comrades, I want to thank the president of Pudemo and the former president for spending time with us, and thank the leadership of Vodacom, MTN, CIC, NAFCOC. They were here with us throughout, and some of them participated in our commissions and all of that. But there is a, why am I forgetting his name now? Brabiza. Ugayena. He was here. Brabiza has been with us here from day one until today. I saw him even this morning. And he spent some time in our commissions as an elderly person trying to guide and show us direction. We really appreciate those type of people in our society who have time to come and share wisdom with us. But I want to thank Dr. Ivan Koza and Dr. Keiza Mutawu, because those two doctors have done very well. Those people ran black institutions from apartheid time until now. Upper Pirates is not a club, it's an institution. Kaizer Chiefs is not a club, it's an institution. Their contribution in sports, in black business, without white supervision is something that we must celebrate. And if you think that your business is not succeeding, you are being troubled, you don't know who to look up to, think of Dr. Keiza Mutawu and Dr. Ivan Koza. I was telling Commissars now here that they must go And now I'm telling even the student command, you must go and lobby for our universities to give Dr. Kaiser Motaung an honorary doctorate. He deserves it. Most South Africa mo honorary le di dom ko po Zuma motho ba no re ke Dr. Zuma ka thoe ka ye empty. How do you honor Zuma and not honor Kaiser Motaung? Who is Dr. Ace Magashule? Maraela ya ACL, it comes from Pick and Pay, that one. It's not from a university. No. So, student command, next year, Dr. Kaiser Motaung must be honored. If it's not honored, it means this student command is not playing its role. In the councils there, everywhere, when you live here, we are going to mobilize that Dr. Kaiser must be honored. Not Dr. Bobby Motaung, not Bobby. Don't confuse the two. Bobby still has got a long way to go. We can't honor him now. So we must honor these people because they are a true exemplary leadership of what black people are capable of. Even during the dark days of apartheid, those people were honored. I mean, you know, Winnie Mashaba, Nagabu Doctor Winnie Mashaba, Balebeji Keizaban. Josugai. Oh, Legamumbra, Apekelinyagamo, la Delegates. University of Limpopo, University of Venda, who are SRC at the University of Limpopo. Make the things happen. Make the pots for Dr. Kaiser Motaung. Let the pots happen so that these people know that they are led by the EFF. This government of the ANC can honor black excellence. We must honor it. We must fight for it. So let us not be scared to celebrate our own. Next year, Colin Sidibe, it must not end before we occupy the border of Swaziland and demand the true freedom of the people of Swaziland. Comrades, in Swaziland, there is no democracy. People who go to parliament must be the darlings of the king. Anyone who must be anything strategic in that country, the king must agree. If you want to be a speaker of parliament and you are not a favorite of the king, the parliament will not sit to elect you a speaker because the king must sanction parliament to sit in order to elect the speaker. One man with many wives behaves like he's God in Swaziland here. We don't have freedom ourselves if the people of Swaziland do not have freedom. We must go and fight for the freedom of our people in Swaziland. When they march, demanding better salaries, they are beaten up. Please go and check the history of Mario Masuku. This old man went in and out of prison in Swaziland. Mario Masuku is a Mandela of Swaziland. And they harassed him. Even old as he is now, he's still a threat to that kingdom there. Because even when they imprisoned him, when they release him, the same day he goes and joins the protest, they go and arrest him afresh. He has never betrayed the struggles of the suffering people of Swaziland. And the least we can do for this old man is to stand up and support him. Now, Comrade President, when you are a president, you are forever a president, you see. So don't worry about those former things. Dali's former chairperson, he has never been president. Maybe if he comes back and become president and then later he leaves, he will be president forever. So that's why when these ones ask us about succession, we're not worried because when we leave, we are presidents. When they are troubled, these chaps, when we leave, they will still come to us and come and ask for wisdom of what was in your head when you were starting these things so that we don't do wrong things. Now, the new treasurer was saying to me, Comrade President, that she is going to donate 1 million into your foundation so that you can continue to do the things that you want to do because you fought for the people of Swaziland. Now you are running your foundation and you came here, you asked for the support, and the treasurer said no. She heard you and she's going to really make sure that you receive that amount of money to start this foundation and continue to make impact in the struggles of our people. Comrades of the EFF in Africa, we want to support you. We want you to become big organizations where you come from. But we are not going to support a Facebook EFF. We're not going to do that. So you have to demonstrate that indeed you are on the ground, you've got the necessary support, you've got the structures. We don't have anything ourselves, it depends on support as well. The little we have, we should be able to share it with you so that you can have an impact and participate in parliament and use that parliament to grow the EFF in Liberia, in Namibia, in Zimbabwe, and all of that. So please, let's go and work the ground. Let us not just talk about support without working the ground. The secret here in South Africa is that we work the ground. We don't talk on Facebook and Twitter, and we don't take too many pictures. We take pictures on the ground. We don't want to be celebrities. So EFF Africa, go and work the ground. The comrades of Zimbabwe who are in exile and the former ministers of President Mugabe, you must put aside your egos and come together. We cannot have a situation where you are all in exile, but people are promoting individual campaigns and making T-shirts and all types of things in their names. We will not support individuals. We will support the cause. We are not going to support any individual who think that is bigger than the cause. If you are not going to come together, join forces, including joining the EFF Zimbabwe if possible, work together to build a formidable force, you can defeat Mnangagwa. But if there's going to be competition of egos and people declaring themselves presidents even before you form organization, then we'll see you in the commissions. Even addressing here is going to stop DP. I think we must get organization proper, because it looks like comrades are unable to come together. And your inability to come together is a direct betrayal of the legacy of President Mugabe. Because when you disintegrate and work as individuals, those who want to destroy the legacy of President Mugabe, they will be the only legitimate people because they will look coherent and they will look like they are progressive. So please, let's work together. Fighters, we are going back home. It's a Christmas time. We are going to share with families that do not have. If you eat whatever little food you have, share with your neighbor. Let us make sure we are safe on the road. Let us not drink and drive. Let us not get too much excited and we become casualties of a festive season. So all of us, the revolution needs us next year. Let us, all of us, go back home and spend some time with our families. Because next year, from January, we'll be working until we deliver victory for the EFF in the municipalities. So make sure you spend enough time with your families. Comrades, you are very important in your communities. People look at the red beret and they see their future in that red beret. Don't disappoint. Don't become useless drunkards during this festive season. Enjoy and enjoy responsibly. Love yourself first before you can love others. If you have a self-love, you will never find it difficult to love the next person. So please, let us love ourselves as black people so that we can love our neighbors and love fellow fighters. We are a family. We are not a political party. We are one thing, and we are going to die next to each other. All of the best, comrades. Thank you very much.